This sold within 10 minutes of list. I wish I'd listed it for more. You live and learn. If I come across any more of, I'll be sure to list them up. I couldn't believe how quickly they sold within 10 minutes. So let me show you what else has been selling on eBay recently. More networking gear. Axel, again, back with the unknown professional grade stuff, not selling for a lot. Ubiquity, popular as ever. Greytech. Only reason this is going this cheap is because, I mean, it's a 2860. That's old. That's very old equipment now. Still works very well, but yeah, it's old. DVD player, picked this up at a charity shop, seemed to be in good condition. I cleaned it up, tested it out. I made less than £10 on it, so not the best investment, but it is what it is. An old spin bike, could have gone for a lot more, but I really wasn't fussed as to how much that went for. Smart home or IoT devices, that seems to go quite well, especially if it's something like this that has been discontinued by the manufacturer. It still works fine. This one was brand new. Yeah, the manufacturer has discontinued it. Yeah, there's still demand for it. And this is only £10 short of the new price was on the manufacturer's website. And then some clothing. So men's polo shirts. I know it's not massive amounts, not massive ticket items, but they seem to be quite popular. I was actually going to cancel this listing and then it sold for 99p. Didn't cost me anything, so yeah, it's just a shame for the buyer that he paid more in postage than the actual item. Hard drives, 500 gig drive, you know, they're not very popular anymore, so again, not a lot, paying more for postage than anything else. A leather jacket, I was hoping this would go for more, but again, it is what it is. I started it at 99p and this is how far it got. Golf polos. This sold within 10 minutes of listing. I wish I'd listed it for more. You know, it is what it is. You live and learn. If I come across any more of these Callaway shirts, I'll be sure to list them up because I couldn't believe how quickly they sold. It was, yeah, like I said, within 10 minutes. And then some more AV specific gear. These Wirestorm HD based T receivers. The last 3 of them went. Levi jeans, another polo shirt, some denim shorts. I believe this was part of the last video. I can't remember when I last checked up on my eBay progress, but yeah, the reason this one only sold for £100 compared to the more recent one at 217 is because this one, as I said there, tested working, read description, is because the person from whom I got it, they had reported some errors. I couldn't replicate or find these errors for myself, so I just updated it, reset it, and, you know, I just put whatever I found in the description, or at least what I was told in the description. More hard drives and stuff, but yeah, that I've covered in the past. So that's where we are. So this weekend marked the first weekend of boot fairs operating again, which was good. Yeah, spent 2 hours walking around, only to find not much. In fact, I found one item in total, and this is it. An Arcam Alpha 2 integrated stereo amp. And as you can tell by these knobs being missing and the state of its top cover, look, it's dented there and there, and there's screws missing here and there, scuffs everywhere. Let me try and spin this round. On the back, doesn't look too bad. I did ask the chap who was selling it whether he knew if it worked. He was honest and just said, I have no idea. I've not even tried turning it on. Don't know where he found it or how he came into it. He just said to me, tell you what, you can have it for £3. So £3 whole for a stereo amp that could or could not work. So anyway, I've already plugged in power. It powers on fine. I've tested all the inputs, had some speakers connected. All of the inputs work, volume control works, the input selector works, everything like that. The only downside is that there's a lot of noise on the output, like electrical interference or something. I can get a little demo of that going. So yeah, there are all the inputs. It's even got a loop out for the tape input. Weirdly, so there where it says disc input, I think that's actually phono, or what's normally a turntable input, because that one seems to have much higher gain than the rest of them, almost like it's pre-amplified. But more than anything, I think, along with straightening up this cover, yeah, you can see how badly dented it is there, and cleaning up, this could well resell. I don't know. So as those screws are missing, it's easy enough to remove. I can't get the cover off with one hand, but you can see in there, it actually looks to be fairly decent condition still. Yeah, nothing's been touched in there as far as I can tell, which is good. So yeah, I don't know why these screws have been removed. That's a question for another day. Something sticky there. I don't know. try and remove that, same as that. That is, I'll spin it back around. That was my find for the weekend. I'm sure I've seen this logo used elsewhere, maybe Cambridge Audio. I wonder if Arcam have anything to do with Cambridge Audio, because obviously Arcam stands for A&R Cambridge or AR Cambridge or something. So yeah, not too sure. I'm going to spend a while trying to get that fixed up to the point where, well, so it looks nice, and then also see if I can work out what the source of the noise is. It could just be a loose solder joint, could be a capacitor, could be a resistor, just, you know, being aged. Considering these amplifiers are, this thing's probably the best part of 40 years old, and it's had a life of, I don't know what. There's no telling as to what exactly could be the problem. Well, let's have a look around. Where I previously had a big stash of packaging stuff, there's now just 2 boxes left. That's sold today, so that's to go. Everything up here is pretty much for sale. A few things here, so these 2 mini PCs I still need to fix up, so to speak. I think the next thing to end is that Sonos Connect. That's ending either tonight or tomorrow night, so that's on there. That amplifier still hasn't sold. It's been relisted 6 times now, still not going. It's just, it looks like no one has really an appreciation for tiny little digital amps. For what's down here, it's very small, but it's actually TV, and a slightly bigger TV there. And then I have another one of those at home as well, so soon I'm gonna put the 2 of them on eBay. Then I've got this big chest, this big flight case, which is, as you can see, very big. Big enough to fit myself in there. I'm not sure whether I want to keep it or sell it. It's fully padded inside. Anyway, yeah, so I've got a little, it's called test rig set up here for this amp, power, and a pair of speakers. They're not the best speakers, but they do produce noise. Tell you what, let's get the amp connected up. So I've put it in back to front there, just so it's easy enough to connect things back here. And on the power, we got a green light, which is good. I've seen people ask whether there are supposed to be speaker terminals that go in there, because it looks like there's something missing or broken off. But no, these are just banana jack sockets. And obviously, as they're banana jack sockets, you do have banana plugs somewhere, but you can just put the wire straight in. You can hear bit of a hiss and crackling there, so they still make good enough contact for me to be able to tell whether there's anything going on. So if I just hold this here between the 2 speakers, I'm going to put it onto the disc input, which is the one, as I mentioned, with the highest gain, and then turn up the volume. So that's half volume. If I go for full volume, you can hear there's a little bit of static and then some crackling. Going to switch it to one of the lower gain inputs, so the CD input, and turn up the volume. Okay, so that's full volume, and there's nothing coming out now, so maybe it was just some dirt out of this. I'm just going to turn this back down, and I'm going to connect an audio cable. So what I have here is just a USB, essentially a headphone amplifier, which gives you a 3.5mm socket and then auxiliary lead to RCA splitter. This just goes in there. Make sure you have these speakers selected. I'll go for about 50, and then just get some music up on YouTube. Probably have to find something that's not going to be copyrighted. Let me just open up the audio library. Turn it up a bit more. Okay, I'm a little perplexed there, because the noises I spoke of that I heard earlier are now non-existent. So the first time turning this thing on at half volume, the rumbling, the crackling, the popping noises were so bad that you couldn't listen to the music. Now it's crystal clear. So it could well be that in moving it around a bit, whatever dust was maybe shorting 2 components has moved and turned this down, or it's burnt off, I don't know. But my first move was going to be just cleaning it out thoroughly, because there is a little bit of dust, there's a few cobwebs inside the case. But ideally, this will then go on to be resold on eBay. Yeah, because in good working condition, they do sell for between sort of 70 and £100. So if I can do a refurb on it for less than say 20, I'll be happy to resell it, because I know obviously it's missing the 3 knobs in the front. I'd want to replace them. It's missing 3 of the 4 rubber feet that go underneath, so I want to replace them. And then just the 2 missing screws, which, looking at the spec of the screws, they're nothing special. They're just black anodized 10mm machine screws, which I'm fairly certain I've got those exact screws in abundance kicking around somewhere. And then it's just a case of flattening out the top so that, you know, it looks nice. Might give it a little bit of a, I was going to say polish, not a polish. Give it a scuff up and repaint, just so it looks nice and black again. I'm actually very pleased now, because I genuinely thought I was going to have to do more. Obviously, I'm going to try it a few more times, see if it changes its mind, try all the other inputs as well. But that's a win in my books so far. I'm going to leave it playing for a while now, whilst I'm uploading and editing and uploading this video. I'll report back next time, I suppose. There it is. The Arcam Alpha 2 integrated stereo amp running through some e-audio speakers. Like, these are proper budget speakers. They were like £20 for the pair on eBay. But they are perfect for doing quick little tests like this. Plus, one thing is, on the back of them, they have this pull tab that, I can't get it out now, but you can hang these on the wall, which is a nice touch. Very, very versatile. And they do come in black, obviously. Although I must say, they miss a lot of the high notes. Anything over 8 kilohertz, so like cymbals, crashes, hi-hats, that kind of thing, very muted. Don't rely on hi-fi sound from these budget speakers. Good for background music, background noise. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. I've talked enough now. Catch up with you next time.